So over winter, I've been doing quite a lot of reading, and probably one of my favourite books has been this Secret Pigeon Service. So not really racing pigeon related as far as the sport goes, but really, really interesting for the history. And I got this book, Pigeon Breeding and Racing by S.W.E. Bishop. I've no idea who he is, but he claims to be the inventor of eye sign in this book. But actually, out of all the books I've read, there's a lot in this book that I liked, and some of it I just disagree with entirely. It's a very old book, written in the 50s, I think. I'm going to read you a certain part, and this sort of resonates, especially with new starters, or it should resonate with new starters. So, the genuine pigeon fancier is essentially a dedicated breeder of racing pigeons, which is to say that he devotes himself to an unremitting study of breeding technique because he knows that his future as a successful fancier depends less on his knowledge of dietary, training and the manual maintenance of his racing pigeons, but far more on his ability to produce, in his nests, the right kind of long-distance bird. Hence, the first stumbling block in the way of the new starter, viz. How does he know which cock should be mated to which hen? And I thought that's me. Which cock do I mate to which hen? It's actually quite complicated. And so I was reading through a few more bits and bobs, and a lot of it made a lot of sense. There's another bit here, which I thought was quite interesting. Never mind what leg-pulling local fanciers tell you about the champions they bred from marketplace pigeons and steeple sitters. Refuse to believe such poppycock, and remember that any attempt to acquire cheap pigeons must fail because the first fundamental requirement in any breeding plan must be birds whose ancestry is packed with champion performers. There's a pedigree made up of club performances isn't nearly good enough. The kind of pigeons needed by new starters are those bred from birds who have made their mark in open events, such as nationals and wide radius specialist clubs, where the competition is of the best and fiercest. And I agree with that too. And I wrote my own little note in here somewhere that basically club racers select against longer distance birds. And I think that's because a lot of the club races are up to 200, 250 miles. You got, 9 out of 10 are at that distance between 80 and 200 miles. And then they'll have a couple that are a bit further. But anyway, worth reading that. Right, so it's January. And I need to build these breeding boxes for the pigeons. Obviously, I've got the widowhood boxes in the widowhood section, but I don't want another load of widowhood boxes, so I'm just going to make some breeding boxes. And my first mistake is I went to Wickes to buy the plywood, which is absolutely garbage. Look at that. Right, so had a couple of changes today, or yesterday. I've now moved the young cocks into this loft. So I've opened up the door, and this is where the yearling hens were last year. They're going to be 2-year-olds, or they're 2-year-olds now. Those hens and cocks, and I've got rid of the 2-year-old cocks. I've moved them into the hens to the young bird section, and I've closed up their boxes, and then I've left open the boxes that are still available. I have got these perchers just outside, but so these can go and perch on the outside of these boxes, but I've left open the ones that are still available. See that one there? That's boxes taken, so he's going to get beaten up as soon as the cocks come back. But the idea is you put the yearlings in here. So that they can get used to a box, get used to the loft, so that when the cocks come back in, they don't get beaten up so much, and they defend themselves a little bit more. So if I just chuck these yearlings in with the old birds, the old cocks, then everyone says they'll get battered. So I've put them in here now for a week or two for them to get used to it. They're only really going to get a week. I'm a bit behind. I should have done this sooner. Some people move them straight away after the young bird season ends. Other people say let them molt out first, so they go through that without any stress, and that's what I chose to do, mainly because I just didn't have the time to sort this out. So I've built those boxes. The other day I'm going to build another set of those for this side, and then this will be the cock section, the cock's loft going forward, and the hens can have they'll probably end up having their own loft. I'm going to end up building another loft, aren't I? But for now, they're in the young birds section with the yearling hens and the 2-year-old hens. We have actually got 2 yearlings, two 2-year-olds in here. We've got those 2 at the top. They never managed to get their own box. They were always kicked out of the box. So I started feeding them in the boxes to try and get them to choose a box and stick with it, and that worked really well for the others, except for these 2, because the others would go in and then see what feed these have got. I've stopped doing that now because I don't want them to get used to looking in boxes for food, because when they're breeding I don't want them going in there and fighting and crushing any youngsters, so they're fed in the troughs again now. But just to sort of, because they were swapping boxes all the time, it was a little bit frustrating. So anyway, this one here, not done anything yet so far. That one in the back, not done anything so far. A lot of people say that if they don't dominate their own box, then they'll never win anything. So these guys are on their last chance, really. So we're going to send them to some longer distance races, because it might just be that they're not fast sprinters. You know, they're not sprint birds. So we'll try them at some longer distance birds. Longer distance races, and see how they fare. Here we are. Look, he's bossing the place. That's a Belgian bird there. He's bossing them all around. So anyway, I need to scrape up, clean out, and get ready for Blackpool this weekend. So I'm going to Blackpool, and the purpose of going to Blackpool, there we are, there's another Belgian bird. That must be a hen then, or is he just dominating everybody, strutting his stuff? I need to clear this floor out a little bit. So I want to go to Blackpool because I'm looking for a hen, and I might go and look in the auctions and see what I can find. But I want what I've been reading. So I've read all winter over Christmas. I've been reading loads of books, most of them from the 50s and 60s, so quite old. But I found a bunch of them. Anyway, what a lot of people say. One particular author said, I'll have a look at his name, said that you want to get yourself, if you can, a producer hen. And they're very rare that anybody would ever sell a producer hen, because if a hen's producing good race birds, then everyone wants to keep them, right? They'll only sell them, I guess, when they stop laying. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a producer hen. Or a hen that will be good for long distance or middle to long distance racing, and that's the plan. And then I'll try with a few different cocks and see, or I might try and buy a pair. But anyway, it's worth a go. So I'm going to go to Blackpool this weekend, see if I can find something. I might not. I certainly haven't got thousands and thousands to spend, but you never know. We might find ourselves a bargain, which is the plan. There we go. If I had to guess, I would say this is a common sight around lofts at the moment. So it got down to -4 last night Celsius. So all the waters, all the drinkers froze over, and it's meant to get down to -6 tonight. So it's going to be another cold one. So that's an issue, keeping on top of the drinkers. Hopefully Archie will do that while I'm away. So this is Ryan, not Brian. This is the first bird we got. It's actually Archie's. I gifted it to Archie. And it was gifted to me by John McNamee, and we sent her for a race as a young bird, and she couldn't get past Darlington. She kept going to a loft in Darlington, and the same guy rang me up twice and said, I've got your pigeon here. And so we didn't think she was much good as a race bird, but actually we reared some young birds off her anyway, just so that my son had something to get involved with. And her offspring is Dark Ghoul, that Archie named, and that's the one that won the Gold Ring race for us, or came third in the Gold Ring race, but won us 150 quid. And that bird, Dark Ghoul, actually did pretty well at those distances, because I think we sent her to Berwick, and she was our first bird back the week after. So this bird that couldn't get past Darlington, and has never came in the first hour with the birds generally, ended up producing the only bird that won us more than 100 quid last season. So we're going to breed from her again. We're going to pair her up to the same cock. There you go. So shall we find Dark Ghoul? See if I can find Dark Ghoul. God, it's gold! Freezing! Where are you, Dark Ghoul? I put a video out last year, and I pointed this one out. I said I really wanted to get this one back because she was tame. She'd take seed off my shoulder. She's not as tame as she was now, and I was hoping that I'd get her back when we sent her to the Gold Ring race. And you came back, didn't you? And you won us some money. So we're hoping we're going to get another one of these. The sire is a bird that we got from Mitchell Brothers. I'm just looking now and I can see that she still hasn't quite grown out her last flight in January. She's got this flight there still to go. She's my favourite bird. I know you're not meant to have favourites, but she's way more tame, look. Alright, see you later. Bring you some peanuts in a bit.